when 3 young Muslim Americans were brutally murdered in Chapel Hill earlier this year. Americans of all faith rallied around that community. And obviously tonight our prayers remain with Charleston and Mother Emanuel Church. As Americans, we insist that nobody should be targeted because of who they are or what they look like, who they love, how they worship. We stand united against these hateful acts.
All right, I'm sorry to put you through that again, folks, but I got to tell you, this man, there must be something wrong with him. I just don't get it. And everyone in America should be offended, and the relatives of the people in that church should be severely offended. Joining us on the Malzberg panel is Jessica Tarlov, who's not easily offended, I will warn you right now.
Not by Barack Obama.
Democratic political consultant, political strategist with Douglas Schoen, LLC, and Ford O'Connell, Republican strategist, political analyst, author of Hail Mary, the 10-Step Playbook for Republican Recovery. All right, so Jessica, we don't, you remember the 3 students who were shot over what the assailant said was over a parking spot. Others had said there was a long-running feud between all of them. This hasn't been tried in court, as far as I know. Nobody's pleaded guilty to anything, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Yet he's already he is jumping to the conclusion. He is stating that they were killed.
He's talking about violence in America.
No, not violence in America.
Religious persecution.
Wait.
He's talking about racism.
Wait a minute, Jessica. Let me finish.
Okay.
He could have talked about any case. Right after he said that America mourned with the 3 Muslims who were gunned down, he then said nobody in this country should be killed for who they are, how they worship, what they look like, implying that was the case. That's exactly what he's implying, and he puts it in the same sentence as the church people who were killed. I mean, this guy, I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, I think you do know what he's talking about.
Why? You know that the Muslim students were killed because they were Muslim?
No, I mean, that's certainly been the going...
No, the going is the
analysis on what. Yeah, but no, they had this long-standing feud, which did have to do with their religion. Either way, Barack Obama is making a general point about religious persecution in this country, and he doesn't want to just say it's just Christians. He wants to also highlight the fact that we've had a terrible problem with the Muslim population being attacked. I'm not saying.
Where's the Muslim population been attacked?
Well,
Ford, where's the Muslim population being attacked?
Well, first of all, most hate crimes in the U.S. occur against Jews, and this is a case of Barack Obama not wanting to let a good political crisis go to waste, as crass as that may sound. And this is about the isms, religious persecution, sexism, racism. He's rolling it all into one because this is about making sure that you're morally correct in the mainstream media's eyes, regardless of who you trample over.
So you got Trayvon Martin, who he spoke out before the verdict and he got it wrong. You have the cops in Cambridge who, I don't know what happened, but they acted stupidly. And now you got him saying that this guy shot them because they were Muslim. He knows. I mean, his track record is pathetic. And every time he does it, it does nothing but divide and divide and divide. And he winds up getting it wrong. Let's move on to Hillary Clinton, who came out today and spoke out against the Confederate flag. And Jessica, she's got a little problem. Her husband, and when she was First Lady, they flew the Confederate flag over Arkansas. He signed, Bill Clinton did Confederate Flag Day into law. They celebrated that flag. And her husband also has some other problems with Robert Byrd, which we'll get to in the next segment, and in supporting and eulogizing and saying that William Fulbright, who was a segregationist, was his mentor and hero.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's a problem, actually. I mean, she's done this before on other issues that her husband's in support of. When, she endorsed same-sex marriage, she's talked about that there were problems with his criminal justice reforms, that she has a different attitude towards surveillance. I mean, Hillary Clinton is a separate candidate from Bill Clinton. People made mistakes in their past. It's a different era. It's 20 years later. I think she was right for saying it. The Confederate flag is a symbol of racism and hatred in this country.
We'll come back with you when we come back and weigh in on Hillary and her problem. Don't go away.
There are a lot of people who wrote these eulogies for Senator Byrd in the newspapers, and I read a bunch of them, and they mentioned that he once had a fleeting association with a Ku Klux Klan. And what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. He was a country boy from the hills and hollows of West Virginia. He was trying to get elected.
Oh, so if you want to get elected, you join the KKK if you're a Democrat. And I guess there's an excuse also for him saying there are plenty of white words that he has met. Rejoining the panel, Jessica Tarlov and Ford O'Connell. Ford, when we last left, Jessica was defending Hillary and separating her from Bill with the Confederate Flag Day, and these remarks about Robert Byrd and his remarks about Senator Fulbright. And I maintain if this was Carly Fiorina's husband, who had been governor and done all and said all these things, she'd be done.
Well, that's the mainstream media talking. You're absolutely right. Look, Hillary is where she is, and she's going to be the Democratic nominee precisely because of Bill Clinton. So this is absolutely fair game. Let me give a historical point here, though. Let me say this. Regardless of party, up until about 10 years ago, if you wanted to touch the Confederate flag, it was essentially political suicide. Unfortunately, here, Nikki Haley in South Carolina really showed some stones and showed some real leadership at a key moment. Unfortunately, the mainstream media is going to forget all of that and just say, well, Hillary's against the Confederate flag. We're fighting with one arm behind our back, Steve.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Jessica, if the media, well, it's up to the Republicans for it to really educate the public. But of course, the flag in South Carolina was put up by a Democrat, taken down by a Republican, and now done away with by a Republican.
Taken down by a Republican after people were shot in a church.
No. It's taken down from the State House. It's not flying over the State House. It's on the mall. It was taken down by a Republican governor. Just as a bigger majority of Republicans in the House and Senate voted for the civil rights legislation than Democrats. Just as Al Gore's father and Fulbright and the rest of them were against civil rights.
These hugely interesting facts. So let's see who the African American population votes for in 2016. I mean, I'm all for it. If they have the policies and the right things to attract the black voting population, then you will win the nomination and we will all live in Jeb Bush
But of course, you got a media in your pocket that will never educate the public. That's right.
Yes, you absolutely do. And let me say this. It's a good thing Nikki Haley took this down, because essentially this is something Hillary Clinton can't use to play. This is the party of old white men. Sexism, racism, That's her whole game plan on the way to 2016.
That's her whole game plan? Come on, Ford. It's totally reductionist. I mean...
Look, you guys don't even know the history. If I listen to the mainstream media, you're telling me the Confederate flag was flying over the dome in South Carolina. It was pulled down in 2000 by a Republican governor and now pulled off the State House grounds. We get absolutely zero credit, and all you guys keep doing is playing divisive racist politics, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll buy that. All right, so P. Diddy's son is on the UCLA football team. And P. Diddy keeps going to practice, apparently. And reportedly, he got arrested for reportedly threatening the coach. He picked up this big thing and he was going to throw it at the coach. What's that?
Kettlebell, very serious weapon.
Yeah. So, Ford, I mean, you have some very definite opinions on this.
Well, look, these are two hotheads, including the UCLA strength coach. Let me say this. Never go after the coach. And apparently the UCLA police have a video. And so P. Diddy's in a lot of trouble. And while you may not be able to hold him down, apparently you're going to hold it against his son over this. And it's a really shameful situation. But guess what? Parents today need to back off and let their kids stand up for themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm guilty. They call it a helicopter father, from what I understand, or at least they refer to
now it's the drone father, Steve.
Maybe it's a drone father. You know, someone who's there watching over the practices and stuff. I mean, I'm very hands-on. I watch my son, and I yell and stuff.
I don't think you assault coaches.
No, I've never assaulted a coach. No, that I could definitely say I've never actually assaulted a coach. All right, we got one more here, ladies and gentlemen, and that has to do with the Senate fast tracking, the Senate-approved fast track for Obama. And I want to talk about the optics real quick. Ford, why does the Republican Party that thinks says the president breaks the law, tramples the Constitution, they can't trust him, why do they hug him and say, we're going to get you that authority?
Because the whole point is to see the bill. The fast track authority is so you can see the bill. And frankly, we do need free trade, because we're talking about 40% of the world. And if we don't get these countries in and write the rules, essentially they're going to be sucked into China's orbit. And you have to understand the economic growth in the next decade is going to be, guess what, in the Pacific and not in the United States. So we got to take advantage of this and be able to send American goods to those markets.
Jessica, I agree with what...
I agree with what...
No. I agree with what I heard Bobby Jindal say the other night when I was at a function
I
with
doubt
him,
I agree with
where
that.
he said, I'm for free trade. I would give it to just about any president, Democrat or Republican. I give him the authority, but I don't trust this man, and I would not give it to him.
No. I mean, I was with you until I would not trust this man. I think Barack Obama has made it clear that TPP and free trade is a priority of his.
He made it clear he could keep our health care insurance. He made it clear a million things.
Come on. I mean...
he's a liar. Barack Obama is a liar, a serial liar. He told
Steve, I don't trust Barack Obama either, but let me say this. The way he's
Sorry,
handling this is pro forma compared to other trade agreements. So,
All right, final
far
word,
he's
Jessica.
playing by the numbers.
Final word, Jessica.
Barack Obama is not a serial liar.
That's a lie. All right, panel, thank you very much. We're coming back with Derek Coleman of the Seattle Seahawks. Don't go away.